mean that we need to fear the devil? Absolutely not. We have been given authority over the devil. We don't have to fear him, but we need to understand him. So I want to teach you about lions because we're talking about exposing the roaring lion. About 1999, Karen's parents took our entire family to Africa. This is before we had grandkids. And so we have 15-year-old twin granddaughters, and then we have 3 other grandkids, but the oldest are 15, and they were not born yet. So it was around 1999 when our whole family went to Africa for 3 weeks. It was the trip of a lifetime. It was fantastic. And for 2 of those weeks, we were in the bush every day, 8 hours a day, with the lions and all the wild animals. And so we had 2 guides in South Africa. That was the first place we went. Our guides were named Blessed and Solomon. Makes you feel better. And so Blessed and Solomon and all of our guides, they taught us about lions. And I would say to Blessed and Solomon, and I would say, are you afraid of lions? They said, no. They said, we respect them, but we don't fear them because we understand how they function. We understand, and as long as you respect their nature, you can be safe. I want to teach you what they taught us about lions and how you can live your life safely and never be devoured by the devil, but to overcome him. I want to teach you how you can do that because that's what they taught us. Number one, lions are nocturnal. If you're going to be safe in lion country, one of the first things you learn is you're safe in the day, you're not safe at night, okay? And so we, in the daytime in our camp as an example of this, there were warthogs and monkeys and all kinds of critters like that. But the bad animals were not in our camp during the day. We had to go find the bad animals. And when you find lions in the day, they're typically sleeping. A lot of times they're just on their back and they're sleeping. They sleep for like 20 hours a day. At night, they are very, 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 very active. We would go out at night and we were in a truck and they would use our truck as stealth to hunt Cape buffalo and other things like that. So they're very active. So when we got to the camps, the first thing you do when you get to these game camps is you have to sign a waiver that says, if I'm killed, I won't hold you responsible. And we call that vacation. So we get to this first camp in South Africa, and I mean, the first thing you do is they take you in this room and you have to sign this waiver. So we signed this waiver at maybe 10 or 11 in the morning. So we went out all afternoon into the early evening into the bush. It was absolutely fascinating. Saw lions, saw all the big 5. It was a fascinating day. So we came back from the first day and we stayed in bungalows that were not connected. The main lodge and dining hall were over here, and then all of our bungalows were scattered out, and they didn't have telephones, so you couldn't call each other. So when we came back from being out that day, they took all of us to our bungalows, and they said, don't come out of your bungalow, okay? Because the wild animals come into the camp at night, okay? So don't come out of there. We'll come get you for dinner. An armed guard needs to come get you for dinner. Don't leave this bungalow. And they said, we'll be back in about 45 minutes. Oh, great. So we went in and we got ready for dinner, showered and got ready for dinner, but no one ever came to get us. And I was hungry. And so I said, we'd waited for like an hour and 15 minutes, and I said to Karen, I said, you know, Karen, I don't know if anybody's coming to get us. So I went over to the front door and opened the front door and stepped out on the porch, and I could see the lights to the dining hall. And I turned around and said, Karen, I can see the lights to the dining hall. She said, close the door, Jimmy. They told us there's wild animals out there, close the door. And I said, I don't see anything out here, Karen, but I guarantee we can make it down there. I can see the light. She said, close the door. Close the door right now. So I closed the door and I went over and sat down. 15 more minutes, nobody came. I went over and opened the door again. Stepped out on the porch, looked all over. And I said, Karen, I can see people down there going to eat. I guarantee you they're walking and we can make it down there. She said, close the door, Jimmy. Close it right now. So I closed the door, and I was just real frustrated, and I went and sat down. Another 15 or 20 minutes, and there was a knock on the door. So I opened the door, and it was the guard, armed guard, and so we opened the door, and he said, I am so sorry I'm late. I couldn't come up here because you had a leopard by your front door. I said, that wouldn't be that front door I've been standing next to for 30 minutes, would it? When I stepped out on the porch, the leopard was probably looking at me going, let's don't kill him, it's his first day. Anyway, stupid people don't taste good. There was a leopard by our front door. So lesson 1 for Jimmy was, it's dangerous at night. Darkness is the devil's domain.